What's up guys, it's Selka. I haven't posted on this YouTube channel for a while, but I'm back and with a little plot twist. As you can see, I have this 200k Harrow Trader challenge, which is basically a prop firm, and the goal will be to pass it on live. So every single trade will be recorded and posted on this YouTube channel with my thought process, my deep down analysis, and how I manage my trade. So yeah, if you don't know about a prop firm, it's basically the best way in my opinion to get a good capital to be able to trade and make a living out of trading. But of course, it's not as easy as it seems. You have to be disciplined, and that's the whole difficulty. So myself, I've burned a lot of prop firm in my life, especially lately. I've been burning them like crazy, and the only reason why is because I'm not disciplined enough. And that's one of the reason why I'm actually starting to this series where I post videos on my trading. It's basically because sometimes I revenge trade, sometimes I oversize, and I think many people do that, but you need to not do it. All right, so that's the whole goal, because when you do that, it never end up being a good thing, and you always end up burning your account. So basically, to make it simple, I have to make 20k profit. That's the profit target. Once you reach that 20k profit out of the 200k, so basically 10%, then you get funded and every single profit will be yours. So 70% cut will be yours on the next profit with this account. All right, basically you don't have to you have to not get that 8k daily drawdown, and you have to not get a loss of more than 12k in total. That's the difficulty over here, and you have to trade for at least 10 days in order to pass the evaluation. So we can't speed run the process, it's not worth it. But once everything is done here, you get funded and you can start getting paid. So yeah, the whole goal will be to do that live with you all. And let's get started without waiting any longer. I have this Bitcoin chart, which I'll give it a little analysis with you all. So as you know, I've been using the wave theory. I'm still using the wave theory, and I have wave theory videos on my channel. I've had that for years, and it's the same process. I've been trading the same way. Like I said, the only reason why I burn account and why people in general burn account, it's not because of the strategy or the method, it's because they don't respect the rules. Some rules are obvious to be respected. Some rules can be easily broke just because of a greed or because of fear. The whole process needs you to be not emotional and just to trade the facts that you have in front of your eyes, which is the chart. And respecting your rules is crucial in order to make it, and that's what I realized, and that's why I'm starting this concept, so I can just trade with y'all and make sure I don't break my rules, because I have to show up every day and make a video for y'all. So yeah, let's get a bigger picture overview on Bitcoin. Sorry, I believe this is still going down. This is a corrective structure, just like this one. When you have a drop, an impulse, and a corrective structure, you're expecting another drop. Same thing here, corrective structure, another drop. And then the next corrective structure, since that one, it's this one. And it's a bigger one, obviously, because the impulse before it was a bigger one. So we are most likely going to get an impulse at some point. Now, are we going to get it from here or from here? That's what I'm going to answer in a second. So in the bigger time frame, since we're doing analysis from the top to bottom, so going from the daily chart until the 1 hour chart, I'm just going to post an arrow on the direction depending on the time frame. So the bigger one, the daily one, it's an arrow. We're looking for a down move in the bigger structure. So when we get in those highs right there, the goal is look to short the market, because the next big move will be a drop. Okay, now in the 1 hour, what I'm looking for is basically this structure here. I think this is an impulse, and there's two options from here. Either this move is a 3-wave correction, which is a running flat. So 3-wave correction. If that's the case, we're expecting another up move to break that top right there. So let me remove this to break that top. So if that's the case, we should break that top. So either right now or after completing the structure that is in the smaller time frame. I'll get into it in a second, but we should break the top sooner than later. All right, so if that's a corrective structure. Now if the structure is done, and that's the difficulty over here, it's to get exactly what structure we're doing. If it's done, that means that this could be already a correction that is completed, some sort of 5 ways that's not really looking good, but this could be a correction. And if that's the case, the impulse already started. So that big impulse here, that bigger time frame one, the white one, already started at this top. And if that's the case, then this whole move we're having, which is pretty odd, this whole move would be just a correction for another drop. Basically, what we had, let's say here or here, for this move, for example, we had some moves here, or for this move, we had some sort of range here. This would be kind of the equivalent, but since the correction is bigger, then the move is just bigger. But it's kind of odds for it to be as big, so that's why if I had to pick one scenario between the two that I'm aiming, so either going up before taking a hit or dropping right now, I would aim for this one. All right, so let's say this is my second scenario. A drop from here is my second scenario, and my base case scenario is an up move until the drop. But that's for the 1 hour chart. So that means so far it's something we have to keep an eye, the direction in the 1 hour chart, but we have to focus the smaller time frame in order to know exactly which one has more odds. I'm telling you the blue one has more odds because I've looked at the smaller time frame, and I can tell you from the smaller time frame that we're most likely going to have the blue move rather than the yellow one. So breaking those 94.7k will be something that's most likely to happen. This blue wave right there, this blue down move from the top, is for the bigger structure, but we have to keep it in mind. I'm not gonna start longing when we break that top. I'm actually gonna start looking for short. So once we break that top, I look forward to trading this whole down move, but so far right now I look forward to this blue move, right? And maybe the yellow one, but I'll explain to you why maybe the yellow one. It's because maybe we can get into the yellow one as a trade by trading the smaller time frame. So now you have the direction, this move for the 1 hour chart, and we have this move for the daily chart, or this move for the daily chart. Now in the 15 minutes, and I said 1 hour, but it's 1 hour and 4 hour, like both of them are kind of similar right now. But now for the 15 minutes, which is a much smaller time frame, we have this up move, which is an impulse to me. It broke the top of the previous correction, so that means that we're switching trends. Now it's going for an uptrend. So most likely, after having this impulse, we knew that there was going to be a drop, a correction, another drop, and then an up move. So either the correction is done and it's done here, and this will just go up to reach the 94k without stopping, which I don't think is the case. It's not my base case. The second scenario is actually my base case right now, which is this whole move right there is a 5 move up, having a running flat in the middle, but this whole move will be a correction, and we need an impulse to match this impulse right there. So the impulse would be another one that is coming down to get near those low. It could even break those low, possible, to get the liquidity, and then going back up and complete an expanding flat correction, which is a 3-wave correction, which should lead to having another impulse similar to this one, like that. All right, so I think before going for the 94k, which is the target here, I think we're gonna have another down move. That's my opinion. Either Sunday or next week, or maybe Saturday, maybe tomorrow, but I doubt. Most likely Sunday or next week, and that's if I'm right on this base case scenario that I have, which is a drop, complete this structure, and then an up move, and then the up move either goes back down from around this area or goes all the way to break the top and then goes down, which is my base case. So if I had to tell you exactly my base case right now, this is this move. So there's one move, basically one arrow to trade right now in the 15 minutes chart, which is a trade that I already picked. I'm going to explain to you why. This is a 15-minute trade I'm taking right now. This is the 1 hour/4 hour trades that I'll be taking afterwards, and this will be the daily trade that I'll be taking once we get those two moves before. So I'm trying to forecast 3 different moves right now that are most likely going to happen. So this whole series of moves will most likely happen based on my analysis. Now, knowing that this move is bigger, I'm going to risk I'll have a different risk than this move and a different risk than this move, and I'll explain to you exactly my thought process. So basically, I'm right now aiming for this smaller time frame move because I want to trade this move, which is the next move that should be coming, and that's a drop. In order to trade this move, I got to know the time frame, and it's a 15-minute drop in my opinion. Knowing that it's a 15-minute drop, I'm not going to risk a lot. I'm going to risk 0.5%. 0.5% is enough. On my account, it will be a 1K trade, and it will be enough for the 15-minute time frame and all future 15-minute time frame trade to risk 0.5%. For an hour and 4 hour, I'll try to risk 0.75. So basically this whole move right there, I'll have a 0.75 risk on my stop loss. And this whole bigger move right there, I'll have a 1% risk. Now, I'm not going to go straight up with a 1% risk as soon as we break the top and short the market. I will most likely get every single sell setup we have and add up to 1% on them until we get to the target, which is breaking this low. So the same way I would have right there shorted somewhere here, shorted here, shorted here, shorted this running flat here, somewhere here, shorted this running flat here, somewhere here, and then all those trade until we get some sort of reversal, which here was the first sign of some sort of reversal. So I would have took profits somewhere here, but that's the idea. I'm gonna add up on my position, have multiple add-ins, but with smaller scale, so I can stack up my position and just add on my winning trades, right? All right, so now let's discuss about the actual trade that I took right now. Like I said, the next move I want to trade is this down move, which I think is most likely to happen. Now we got to be careful what it's doing here, but I don't care. I have my invalidation point. If my trade doesn't end up being a good one, it's fine. I'm not gonna complain. It's worth trying it out because I think there's a good chance we get that down move, right? That's it. I'm not gonna be, revenge trading or having emotions on those type of stuff. I just know out of experience that those trades, those setups, I need to try them in order to get in the right direction on the move I'm forecasting. So I'm forecasting a drop right now. There's always a chance that the drop won't happen from here. It could go back up and then drop, but in that case I'll wait for another opportunity as well, but later. All right, but now I think there's one in the smaller time frame, so that's why I tried it. And now here comes the trade. I'm in right now on a little drawdown on the position, but it's fine. And let me tell you the whole process. My stop loss is on top of this impulse because I think this is the top of the impulse and this is the first wave down. So this is a 3-wave correction, regular flat on the smaller time frame. In order to get another move down, and this other move down could be the start of the impulse, similar to what was here before this move down. You had the other move down, exactly similar to this, right? You can't make it more clear. You had a drop, a 3-wave, and it's those 3-wave that you're trying to get in order to snipe the next impulse down. So it's exactly the same setup. I have a down move, 3-wave, and I'm trying to get into the next move down because I'm expecting, like I said, a move down here to complete this whole 1, 2, 3 ABC running flat correction, right? This whole wave right there, and get to the next impulse afterwards, right? The next impulse will be later, and my take profit is around 87,250. I'll explain exactly why. The 87,250, it's not a random number. It's because often the next wave you're going to get the C wave of this correction. Remember this running flat? The C wave should be similar to this A wave. So if I pick the A wave from the top to bottom here, it should be around this area. Now you can also do it with the Fibonacci. So if I pick the Fibonacci, I'll get here, and it's around 0.9 and 1 in between those two numbers. And since the 0.1 is 87,180, I took it a little bit higher, around 87,250, and that's why my TP is there. All right, so that's about it. The goal is to take this next move down, so a drop, and then later next week most likely we're going to look for buy setup if we ended up getting that down wave. And if it takes us out by breaking this top, too bad. I'll take the loss, but I'll look for another sell setup later on. Now it's 3R trade, so I risk 1k to make 3k, which is fair, and the 1k is because it's a 0.5% risk, which is fine as well. I can't really erase that quickly, so I'm just gonna let you know what could happen here in the really smaller time frame. Even though I really don't want to get into the smaller time frame, I'm not looking to gamble or anything, just looking to stay in my lane and respect my rules. But basically, the smaller time frame here, I was expecting a reaction at the 0.5, so 0.5 could have been the point where we get that reversal and the start of the impulse that I'm looking for. But the second point is 0.618, which could still happen. But as soon as we break this top, there is no longer any reason to stay in that short position, and that's why my stop loss is here. Because as soon as we break this top, it means that this move is not an impulse, or at least is not the impulse that I'm thinking about, because this move right there would not be any correction anymore, because a correction is not supposed to break the bottom of an impulse or the top of an impulse if it's in a downtrend. So that's the whole process right there. And actually, if it's an impulse, most likely is. I'm not usually, I don't label, I don't do like Elliott wave, I do wave analysis, which is kind of different. But sometimes you could label the impulse and know that if this is a wave 1, you'll get this as a wave 2 as a correction, and the wave 3 should be the bigger one before a little drop, wave 5, and complete this as an impulse. Kind of similar of what we're getting here, but here it's more like 3 wave things, so even there it's different. But yeah, you get the point. The next impulse should be sharp, exactly like this, right? If I take this, that's exactly what I'm trading right now. That's what I'm expecting, and that's exactly what is a setup and how I'm gonna get into my trade most of the time. So you have this, you have this drop, this top right there, a drop, a 3-wave correction, and you get into that 3-wave correction to write the next impulse down. Entry around the top, and as soon as the market goes in your direction, you let it cool down a little bit, and you can move the stop loss under your entry, so it's a risk-free trade. If you've done it in this, for example, on this trade, it was pixel perfect, even though you have to take profit at a strategic place, either here or here, because otherwise the market will reverse on you, right? So yeah, that's the whole thought process behind this trade, and hopefully it goes in the right direction. And if it goes, then we're going to be able to review all that in my next video and be able to get the next impulse up, the next trade, which is most likely going to be an up move, right? So yeah, I'm excited for this new journey, new chapter that I'm starting with you all on video, and hopefully some people could learn from what I'm doing, the method I use, and I could also focus and start getting discipline for real, respect my rules, and inspire people to do the same, because it's the only reason stopping you to achieve success and financial freedom, right? So thank you for watching, and hope you have a beautiful day. Peace.